So I haven't done like a chit chatty get ready with me in a hot minute, and I bought myself a couple of things. I already talked about the ugly palette from Likely Makeup, and then the what's the other one? The Escape Pod. That's the other one that I got for Christmas. But I went and bought myself the Gothic Romance palette from Necromancy Cosmetica, as well as one of their lipsticks in the shade Morgue. I haven't used it yet. This is literally like, I opened it, but I haven't used it yet. It's like a, I think there's like a gold, like a subtle gold shimmer to it. I don't know, we're gonna see. And then this palette, holy crap. First, let me open up my LaCroix. Key lime, the best flavor. Tastes like Skittles. Oh. Tastes like Skittles. I don't know how it tastes like Skittles, but it tastes like Skittles. This palette, it's so cute. It comes in this cute little sleeve, like a book, like a Gothic Romance. Then there's a little mirror that's on, that like magnetizes to it. Here's one side. Here's one side. And here's the other side. Okay. So you have the mirror, but opens up. It's so cute. Oh my god, it's so cute. It's so tiny. It's so travel friendly. Not that I'm going anywhere, but it's so dang cute. The shades are Infatuation, Melancholy, Wilted Roses, Burial Ground, Velvet Thorns, Candlelight, Penumbra, and Phantasma. Holy moly. I'm so excited about this palette. It's adorable. We're gonna be using this today. Isn't that satisfying? Oh. Oh, so satisfying. I'm such a dork when it comes to that crap. So let me take my glasses off so I can put things on my face. Hi, how's everyone doing? It's been a bit since we've chatted, since we've had a chat. There's not like anything particular that I wanted to talk about today. I mostly just wanted to play with this makeup, but maybe just kind of stream of consciousness brain at you guys, because there's been a couple of things online and have just been kind of grinding my gears. One I actually talked about in my anti-haul, which was the Addison Rae blue light shield thing that Valkyrie already got eviscerated for. But the other thing that's been really confusing me, concerning me, and just altogether baffling me is this recent terrifying rise in celebrities promoting and endorsing NFTs. I hate this. I've talked about NFTs here before, about how bad it is for the environment and how pointless it is and how much I hate it. And it's only gotten worse since then. It's only gotten weirder. You have Twitter giving you the option to have an NFT as a profile picture. The only good thing that came out of that is that it makes it easy to tell if somebody's an NFT bro if they have a hexagonal profile picture. So it's like, cool, I can block you and I don't give a shit. But this rise in celebrities particularly, it's been very frustrating because up until now, there really haven't been any celebrities that I'm a huge fan of that was doing it. Like, I saw the creepy interview with Paris Hilton and Jimmy Fallon. Casey Aonzo actually did a really great video about NFT celebrities. You should go watch it. But that interview by itself was like so weird. Paris came on to talk about her ape, because the main Twitter profile NFTs are the ape series. Came to talk about her ape, and then Jimmy Fallon started talking about his, and they tried to make it seem that these apes had anything to do with them, when if you looked at them, you're like, what? This doesn't make me think of Paris Hilton. This doesn't make me think of Jimmy Fallon. What the hell? It was so uncomfortable. The only time realistically when I was like a fan of Jimmy Fallon was when he was like hosting Weekend Update with Tina Fey, doing like silly parody songs, doing satire of satire. He was doing like an Adam Sandler impression of Adam Sandler on SNL. It was funny. But now, the man, I don't even understand where his brain is coming from half the time, because half the time, well, more than half the time, he looks like he's forcing this personality on people, and it's so weird and like uncanny valley thing. You're like, is he a real person? I've been really liking this Kosas brow gel, by the way. But the interview with him and Paris Hilton is so uncomfortable to watch. I think Casey said it, she's like, it looks like that they're being held at gunpoint trying to talk about this stuff, because it was so uncomfortable and so forced. That, I feel like, was like the biggest, well, not the biggest, but it was one of the more recent large scale endorsements of NFTs And like I said, up until now, I haven't really had anybody who I was like a fan of who was doing it, because none of really the artists that I had, like some digital artists were doing it like early on, and I was like, okay, like I can give you the benefit of the doubt. You're just kind of jumping on a trend and it's an easy way to make money. But now it's like, there's so many things wrong with the system. But Brie Larson got one recently, and I'm like, girl, you were, oh man, like, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. No, why? I hate them. I hate NFTs so much. Besides the fact that, like, I just feel like Bitcoin in and of itself is ridiculous. I don't like the idea of like the stock market either. So like the whole thing of like things raising in value based on like other people spending exorbitant amounts of money on it is really stupid to me. Don't even get me started. I still have to figure out my 401k, but I don't want to, because the fact is you have to put your shit in stocks and it's stupid and I hate it. Anyway, that was a tangent. Bitcoin, first of all, I'm gonna get a fuck ton of bots in my comments, because anytime anybody ever says anything about Bitcoin or NFTs, you get either bots or like people who have bots turned on to where they can just like jump on any opportunity to talk your ear off about this crap. Good Lord. I've heard a couple people say it, but I feel like the best kind of example is Bitcoin is MLMs for bros. NFTs or MLMs for Bitcoin bros. I hate it. I don't even want to try and explain like non-fungible token. You're buying a JPEG, and that JPEG apparently includes some sort of certificate of authenticity. Like it's a digital trading card that is so easily duplicatable. Is that a word? Link as, save image as, and you get a JPEG. It's the same thing. The thing with physical things, with trading cards, is that you have a physical thing. Like Pokemon cards or baseball cards, like any sort of trading card, if you have a physical collection of things, you have to go through the act of finding it and like digging through things. And sometimes people will spend exorbitant amounts of money on it, and that's fine. But like the whole idea of NFTs is that the only way you're getting your hands on it is by either like spending way too much money on it or just being really predatory about it. There's no equivalent to like the physical act of like looking for trading cards. Literally, when I got that Twitter like notification, when I logged in one day and it was like, oh, now introducing NFT profile pictures. I'm like, excuse me? What? You're doing what? You got rid of fleets and you gave us this? This is not what we want, Twitter. And we're back. My memory card was full. What was I doing? Oh, I already put on eyeshadow primer. What was I even talking about? I don't know. What was I talking about? I lost where I was. Probably still NFTs. Either way, it's annoying as hell and I don't like it. Okay, I'm gonna use Wilted Roses. I love this color so much. This is like my ideal pink eyeshadow. Like, ideal. It's so pretty. Ugh. And I will say, these colors blend so well. They blend so easily. Holy crap. The thing that annoys me with all these celebrities joining in on the NFT craze is that they're not explaining well enough to their fans, like, who are clueless. I think, like, what was it, Niall Horan from, Liam from One Direction made an entirely new Twitter account just to talk about, like, NFTs and Bitcoin and stuff. But everybody was just like super fucking confused who started following it. I don't know why you would follow it in the first place. Like, please don't enable them. That would be great. Stop enabling the celebrities who are buying into this destructive thing, but okay. People were really confused and they weren't doing a good enough job at explaining what it is because A, they either don't know how to explain it, B, they do, but they just don't care, or C, they're trying to scam their fans. And I am more inclined to believe C, because, you know, the less people know about a thing, the more they'll believe you. Because if they're like, oh, well, if this person that I idolize is into this thing, maybe I'll buy into it. Maybe I'll buy their coin or whatever. I think the Paul brothers like started their own fucking cryptocurrency. And the other thing that's really grinding my gears about NFTs is that people just keep stealing art or like stealing other people's intellectual property and then minting them on these like crypto sites They're like stealing other people's tweets, which is like, what? Why would they do that? What useless person would think, yeah, I'm gonna make a quick buck by stealing somebody else's tweet and selling it through cryptocurrency as an NFT? What?
Thanks, I hate it.
You see how easy this fucking eyeshadow blends? I'm telling you, these are really nice eyeshadows. When I put them on for the first time, I was so pleasantly surprised. I put it on and I was like, oh, this blends, what? Like, how is this blending so easily? Like, even the like darker colors, like the blue and the teal, because this one's more a teal, Penumbra is more of a teal, and Melancholy is a more blue. Oh yeah, we're gonna do Melancholy today. Good thing I'm wearing black. I can just wipe my hands off on this. There's a little bit of fallout when you like actually kind of don't swirl your brush around. I don't swirl my brush in any eyeshadows anymore. Sometimes I'm confused by people who like swirl their brushes. I'm like, why do you need this much pigment on your brush at all times? I don't understand. That's good. I like this palette a lot. It's fun. The actual like design of it reminds me a little bit of like Haunting of Bly Manor in a really nice way, which is funny because that's actually what they called Haunting of Bly Manor. They didn't call it a horror, they called it a gothic romance, which it definitely was because it wasn't scary. I actually didn't even finish the show. It was kind of boring. I was underwhelmed. It was too confusing. Far too confusing. Speaking of confusing things, this I actually talked about on Twitter and on Twitch. It's something I've been thinking about lately about like movies and TV shows that are just kind of confusing for the sake of being confusing. The Oscar nominees came out and I was a little bit surprised that Dune got nominated for Best Picture because it was good, but like not Best Picture to me. I feel like it was pretty and the special effects were amazing. Like everything on paper was so very good. Like the effects were amazing. The acting was good. The music was fantastic. The soundtrack, I will give it, soundtrack was fucking phenomenal. I think it was it Michael Giacchino or was it Hans Zimmer? I think it was Hans Zimmer. Amazing soundtrack. Fantastic soundtrack. Josh and I saw Dune. We saw it in theaters. We saw it in like a smaller theater that had like less seats and like kind of like portioned off seating. So we weren't near people. We had like our own little table and stuff. I was so confused. And it got me thinking more about movies that kind of rely on the audience to know some of the source material and whether or not that makes it like a successful story, if it was successful in telling its story, because I don't think that is. I think if you have to know some of the source material or like have to read articles after the fact to like understand what the fuck you were just watching, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to have to like be confused the entire time I'm watching it and then afterwards when I look up articles on like Jezebel or whatever, I understand what it's about. Like, I don't want that. I want a movie that's going to tell me what it's about and what it means. Like, I feel like when I was in school, I was a bit more of like a film snob, that I was more inclined to watch movies that were much more confusing because I thought it made me look cool. I've seen Mulholland Drive one time. Even 10 more rewatchings of that movie, I still won't understand what it's about. David Lynch is kind of like that, okay? David Lynch is a confusing man. He makes confusing things, and that's fine. I love Twin Peaks, but Twin Peaks was a show, and it's like old and iconic, and it exists in a time outside the current time. Like, you watch it with knowledge of it already because of the nostalgia and because of when it was made and when it got popular. Where's this video going? I'm talking about movies? Jesus. I've also been watching a lot of content about movies the last couple of days. But Dune, I don't think that's worthy of Best Picture. I'll take that pink, the brush that I use for the pink, and like blend this out. But Josh and we watched The Green Knight a few weeks ago, and I haven't stopped thinking about this movie, which like maybe is probably a good thing, like a testament to how like good it was, because I keep thinking about it because it pisses me off so much. Because I remember seeing the trailer for it and I was like, ooh, Dev Patel in like a medieval Arthurian legend action adventure movie? Cool. Like, I love Dev Patel. I think, which whenever he's given a script, he does his best. Even when he was Zuko in The Last Airbender. He did his best, okay? That movie was a failure, but he did as best as he could with what he had. This movie, the way they sold it was that it was gonna look like more of like kind of a more intense kind of adventure movie, right? But what it was not that in the slightest. I did not know what was going on most of the time. And the thing that really, really pissed me off about it was the way that they kind of focused so much on like crafty camera work more than like the story. And in my head, if I'm watching a movie, if the camera work is distracting to a point where I can't pay attention to the story, if the camera work is something that I notice, it's not doing its job. The camera should be invisible. If you're using a camera angle or using a particular shot to evoke an emotion, you shouldn't realize that the camera is there. Even though you know it is, it should take you out of it enough to where you're just experiencing the imagery the way that the director and cinematographer intended. This frickin' movie, there were some beautiful scenes, beautiful shots. It was filmed, like, the color work, the costumes, the actual camera angles and the actual, like, cinematography, gorgeous, right? It was the editing that drove me crazy. This movie has some of the longest, most obnoxious shots I have ever seen in a movie. There was this one shot where Dev Patel, this isn't a spoiler or anything, he's leaving his home to venture out into the wilderness, right? And he's just walking out into a field along a path. There's some like kids running after him a little bit, but they eventually go away. And they linger on this shot for so long that I kept thinking, is something gonna happen? Is this the end of the movie? Like, what is happening? Why are we staying on this shot for so long? Guys, like, what's happening? Is there something I'm supposed to be seeing? There wasn't. And it lingers for a couple minutes, I feel like, and it was just so obnoxiously long. The worst shot of them all was there's this scene out in the woods where Dev Patel's character, Sir Gawain, comes across this like farm hand kind of boy from the woods, right? And they start talking. And they linger on this wide shot of the two of them talking for what felt like 5 whole minutes. With no cuts, with no nothing, with no sort of like zoom-ins. It was just this wide shot that lingered on him walking, and they were so far away to where you didn't even know who the actor was. I only eventually figured out it was the actor that played Druig in Eternals, who he was talking to, because it was too far away the entire time they were fucking talking. I was so frustrated. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why? Why? Oh. My group text with my mom and my sister. This shot that they lingered on was so frustratingly long. And then at the end, I didn't quite understand like what the climax was, what the purpose was. They didn't tell us enough about the story to understand any of the like symbolism in anything. It was like they just showed us a thing and then expected us to understand the Arthurian legend of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which is like not really that popular, to be honest. Like, I had never heard of it before I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, this looks cool, but I don't know anything about it. And I think that's another instance of like, if I have to like read articles and watch YouTube videos to understand what the meaning of this movie was, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to. Don't like it. Just a bit pretentious at times. Just a bit of a pretentious movie. I'm not as into the pretentious films these days. Which is why I'm so mad that Spider-Man No Way Home didn't get nominated for an Oscar, because it was a perfect movie. It was phenomenal. It was perfect. The Oscars are dumb. This was a year that kind of made me think that maybe we don't need 10 nominations for Best Picture. If they're going to have 10 nominees for Best Picture, they did that, A, to just like give more movies more chances, and B, because the Golden Globes would do 2 different categories for Best Picture. They would do comedy/musical and drama, which I think those categories are kind of dumb, because if it's a dramatic musical, it should be in the drama category. Like, there was nothing comedic about Les Mis, but okay. The Oscars decided to add more slots for Best Picture, and the fact that there were that many slots and still Spider-Man didn't get nominated, Like, the only superhero movies in recent history that I can remember that got nominated for Best Picture were Black Panther, which it deserved, and then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for Best Animated Feature, which should have been nominated for Best Picture and should have won that year because that was the best movie that was released in 2018, and I will die on that hill for that movie because it's perfect, okay? Anyway. What was I doing? What was I saying? Oscars. Yeah, they're dumb. One thing I did find very hilarious in the awards season was this fucking tweet that some film account posted. They're like, Dear Evan Hansen was nominated for 0 Academy Awards. 0. They felt like making an entire tweet to say that. I was laughing so hard. The funniest shit I'd read in a while. I was like, they did what? And then it got nominated for a bunch of Razzies, which, as it should, from everything I've heard, that movie was terrifying and awful. I will not watch that movie, but I will watch 2-hour-long videos even, about why that movie is awful. Because I like watching film criticism media. Some of my favorite content to actually watch on YouTube lately. Somebody on my Twitch stream the other day recommended that I watch Broey Deschanel. What is that username? I'm in love with it. That's amazing. And I watched a bunch of her videos, and there was one that she made talking about licorice pizza, and that was another one that was nominated for Best Picture. I'm like, why is this movie about statutory relationship? It's a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old. Why is it getting nominated for Best Picture? Like, God, the hard-on that people have for Paul Thomas Anderson is ridiculous. You know, I like his movies. I like his filmmaking style. I think his filmmaking style makes everything really pretty. I think all of the images he does, and like just the way of filming, it's gorgeous. But sometimes we don't need to make a movie somewhat glorifying or not outwardly condemning a relationship between a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old. Is that just me? I hadn't heard about this movie except like my mom told me one day and she was like, oh, have you seen the trailers for Licorice Pizza? It looks really good. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Mom. No clue. And then I saw one of my mutuals on Twitter mention, like, why are people loving this movie? Why are people talking so positively about this movie? Like, this is so disturbing. And I was like, what is it? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh no. Why? What? That's creepy. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Literally the first time putting on this lipstick, and we are going to see what it looks like. Ooh. I felt like going all out tonight with my makeup. I'm not going anywhere, but... Yeah, this movie, just seeing all of the praise for it made me really uncomfortable because I'm like, why are we normalizing this? Let's stop. No, we don't need to normalize this more in films by making it look like fun and pretty and timeless. Like, ooh, it's the 70s. It was fine. No, it wasn't. It wasn't fine. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about today. Today was just kind of like a rambly, ranty, get ready with me chat. Here's the final look. A lot of Necromancy Cosmetica, which... I love that eyeshadow palette. I'm obsessed with it. Like, it's so pretty and it's so easy to blend and the color story is fun and like spooky and dark and my kind of thing. Yeah, that's the final look with this eyeshadow palette. There's definitely like a variety of things. I could do like a simple like neutral look. I could do like an all red look. I could do like a smoky bluish look. I could do like a gold all over the eye because I got like a gold. I guess it's more of a metallic gold underneath my eye and with like the red here on the inside. I think this is a fun look. It's very a lot. Yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about, I don't know, NFT. Well, if you want to, or just about movies in general and movies that like kind of rely on being pretentious for the sake of like filmmaking. It's like, just make a movie that people are gonna like. Something about those movies just feels so self-indulgent when it's like, yes, you're making your own art, but like you're making a movie to be released to the masses for people to see. Like, is that such a weird concept? I don't know. But anyway, that's what I felt like talking about today. For today's song of the day, let's see. Let's have today's song of the day be Lethal Enforcer from We Are Scientists. Is way back from their second record, Brain Thrust Mastery, which came out like 14 years ago. Holy shit. What? Wait, was that 2000? Oh my, wait. Oh no, it was 14. Holy shit. Oh, I'm old. Whoo. Whoa, I just gotta... Yep. Just gotta... Ooh, I am old. Feel. But it's off their second record, Brain Thrust Mastery. It's called Lethal Enforcer, so that is your song of the day, so go check it out. It's old. If you would like to follow me anywhere else on social media, my Instagram and my Twitter are both Abers07, and then my Twitch is Abers without the 07. If you like this video, give it a like. I got black lipstick swatches on my hand. And if you would like to see more of me, please subscribe. That'd be super cool and funky fresh. And you could see more of my content. My next video, I talked about this on Twitch, but I'm thinking of doing like a reaction video to like my VidCon vlogs from my old YouTube channel because I think that would be hilarious. That might not be Monday's video, but it will come up probably next week. Prepare to cringe. Oh man, that was a time 10 years ago. That's why I wanted to watch it, because it was 10 years ago. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you had a good week. It is Friday. We made it. Go get a drink of water. Go get some sleep. Go watch some TV. Chill out. Have a Friday. And I'll see you all on Monday. Bye!